Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card, which is called a buckle card, and you open it by lifting the buckle and opening it. Okay, so in here you could stamp a sentiment and or write your greeting. If you don't like the idea of writing in there, you put it at the back. But as by itself it doesn't really stand up very well, so what you can do is you can slide the front in through there and it will stand up as a bendy card. If you don't like that bit showing, then if you're very careful, it might take a bit of juggling, but you can do that so it just about goes in there. Make sure that's straight, and then you can stand it like that. Okay, and from the front it looks like that, and that's why you may not like have some writing on there. Okay, so there are options with that one. I'm going to change, I've used zany zebras for that, and for today's card I'm going to be using products from the Pampered Pets suite. So I'm going to start by giving you the measurements and the card pieces that you're going to be needing. Before I go too far, I'd like to tell you, notice that I don't have my extra layer in there. I normally would have put white and then the design series paper. In fact, this one I would have put real red layers and then a white base. But the reason I didn't is because this has to be punched, and it's more difficult to punch one layer cardstock and one layer DSP, but if you try and do 2 layers of cardstock, like with a Whisper White and a DSP, that really does get really quite tough. So I'm only doing the base and the designer series paper. So, and also, before I go too far, the measurements are inches for those who use A4 cardstock. I will put all the measurements in the box below the video. As well as the inches for A4, I will do the inches for US and also metric measurements. So to start off with, you need a piece of real red cardstock that measures 8 1/4 inches by 4 1/8 inches. The designer series paper, you need a piece that is, that's going to go there, that measures 2 1/4 by 3 7/8 inches, and then you need another piece that measures 5 1/2 inches by 3 7/8, and that's the one that's going to go at the back behind there. I'll move them out of the way once I've shown you. And then for the band, you need a piece that is 6 1/2 inches by 1 7/8 inches, and I want a little piece of DSP to go there, so I'm going to be using this black piece, and this measures 3 1/4 inches by 1 5/8 inches. And then you need, for the image here, the layer is real red, which measures 1 7/8 inches by 2 7/8 inches. And then you need a piece of Whisper White, which measures 1 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. That's a scrap of Whisper White because I'm thinking about doing the sentiment as a long white strip. I don't know about that yet, but as I say, that's just a scrap. And for the inside of the card, this piece here, you need a piece of Whisper White that has been die cut with die number 4 from the Stitched So Sweetly dies. Okay, I always start counting smaller the die, smaller the number, so number 4 is that one there. If you don't have those dies, then you need a piece of Whisper White that measures 2 1/8 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And for the card that I'm making now, I am thinking about doing a real red layer underneath that, so you would need a piece of real red that measures 2 1/4 inches by 3 3/8 inches. And I think that's probably about everything that you would need. So to start with, we're going to use the card base and the band. So I'm going to bring my trimmer over. The designer series paper, by the way, is called Playful Pets. Now, first of all, for your long piece, the wide piece that's 4 1/8, you want it on landscape, and you want to score it at 5 3/4 inches. And then your long piece for the buckle, you need to score that at 1 inch. Now that should be all we need the trimmer for. And we need to fold this and give it a really good burnish using a bone folder. That one. And then this one. Just make sure it's lining up straight as well. You will find that if you score your folds and then fold them, you will get a much neater fold than just trying to bend things over. So there's those two. Now the first piece I'm doing is I'm going to adhere this onto my front there. And normally I just put some Tombow around the edges, but because I'm going to be cutting a hole at this with my punch, I'm going to put a little bit of glue all over, otherwise where I punched the hole the designer series paper isn't going to adhere, and you don't really want it to start flapping about. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that under there. It's easier to make sure I'm getting the edge the same all the way around. That needs to come out a bit. I think that looks okay. Let me just hold that up. Yep, I think that's all right. Now before I adhere this one on, I'm going to adhere this onto here. Now there's no right or wrong to this, you just need it to be as much in the centre as you can. So put the Tombow on the inside of the 1 inch part. Now I am just going to eyeball this so that I've got the centre. And I'm also making sure that it's gone on straight. It was so nice and easy when I was doing the first one with the stripes. Mind you, this one's nice and easy as well with the paws. Let go, Tombow. That's about right. One, 2, 3, 4 and a bit. 1, 2, 3. No. Tombow's so very patient. Right, let's try again. Last time. This time you're going to stay. Wherever you land, you're staying. Right, let's see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Nearly. It's close enough. I just need to make sure it's straight though, because that isn't. You see, that isn't. That looks better. Yes, that's good. Now you need to punch your hole in there because that's got to go in. Okay. So what I'm going to do, Shall I do that first, or shall I punch the hole first? I think I'll put this one down first. At least I can use it as a guide for where I'm going to be punching the hole. Okay, so put some extra glue on the red bit there. Oops. Should be using my silicone mat. Where did that go? Right. I'll pop that in the centre. I think that's about right. Yes, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now you need to get your punch into there. The punch that we'll be using is the classic label punch, which is that one there. Now I'm assuming that I've got this more or less centre. So as I put this in, I'm going to try and get this so it looks as if it's centred down there, and also that I've got the same gap there as I have there, and of course making sure it's straight. Okay, there we go. Right, now I haven't done this correctly, which is quite a good thing because it shows you how you can correct it. Can you see? Can you see it in white? There you go. You see that white there? You can see a lot of that point, but you can hardly see any on that point there. Now, if it's only a little bit, it doesn't matter because that's going to be sliding in, but I think that that is going to be a bit too close to the edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it back into my punch, and I'm just going to cut an extra little bit there. Okay, so let's put it back in, line it up. Now, if I bring this up to you and show you what I'm doing, can you see? Oh yes, you can see how I'm just going to be punching off that extra little bit. I'm going to get all that white out of the way, otherwise the hole is going to be incorrect. Okay. I took a little bit off that I shouldn't have done, but that won't hurt. There you go, nobody would notice that, except I've got a little bit there. So let me just, first of all, before I cut it, I'll show you what I've done. No, got a bit black, can you see there? Can't, you could probably see. Can you see how there's a little notch there? Doesn't seem to be one on the other side, just there. So I'm just going to smooth that off by cutting it down towards the corner. Okay, so if you make these kind of mistakes, you know how to get yourself out of it without throwing it all in the bin. There we go. It's got it at the other end as well. Wonder why that must have been crooked. So what I'll do, just tiny little snip there. That's it. And a tiny little snip there. Is that far enough? Don't want to snip it anymore in case. There we go. Right, so that sorted that a little bit out. So that's going to be sliding in there nice and easy. Now the reason I'm not bothered about that being above and below this is because we're going to be putting something over the top of it. Okay, so the hole is only going to be seen once you open the card. So to point this, I'm going to be using the tag punch, tailored tag punch, which is that. And what I'm going to do is I'm taking the edge and I'm going to slide it in from the back here, because I only want that top bit cut off. Now when you get your cardstock on in there, two things you want to look for. One is make sure that that gap there is the same as that gap, that side, and then make sure that the end of your cardstock has actually gone through. And then once you're happy that that's done, just give it a punch. Okay, so you get a nice little pointy bit there. And for some reason my machine, that leftover doesn't like to come out. There you go, that's all I've lost. So when we do this, that will just slide in like that. Okay, and it doesn't go right to the end. No, if it goes right to the end, it makes the card buckle. So that's good. So what I'm going to do now is I can adhere this onto this one here. In fact, if I do that, oh, it doesn't really help, does it? Do it like that. I'm going to say so that I can see the positioning of it. If you wanted, you could do it all the way along there, thinking about it. But by doing it my way, you get a bit of the red edging all the way round. The words on here have they read things like bark, woof, dig, chase, scratch, wag, love, all kind of dog things. Okay, so that's going to be going like that, and then this will go over the top. Not that one, this one. This one be going here. Right, now what I'm planning to do is there are two ways of doing the dog that I want on there. If you've got the designer series paper and you have the dies, which are just called pets, you've got two that'll cut out cats, two that'll cut out dogs, and that's from the actual stamp set. That's those two and those two. This is the one I'm after, the little like Scotty dog, I suppose. But you get them die cut like this. But not only will that one and that one, so that's that and that, not only will it die cut these two, but it will also die cut one of the cats and one of the dogs. Now the dog that I'm using is actually this one, so I could die cut that. That one there. I'm not going to, because I found that it worked out a bit too big for what I want. Okay, so you can die cut it like that. And then you would finish up with one of these. Okay, so that's really good. I like it when Stampin' Up do it, so that we have dies to die cut from our designer series paper. As you can see, I've done quite a lot. So there's that. I'm going to stamp mine, and I'm going to use the Hope Your Day is a Real Treat. I've already done the little one, but I want to try on my bigger one to see what that looks like. I don't know if I'm using it yet or not. So I have my Stamparatus all prepared somewhere. Here we go. And bring the stamp set back, because it's nice to have a little platform there. Now let me see, can you see what I'm doing? Yep, you can. Yes, that's good. So I've already set this up beforehand. As you can see, the dog has stamped on there. So I know that if I put this so it covers that up, I know it's going to stamp perfectly. Let me just double check I've got that far over. Right, that's going to be good. And this I need to do afterwards. So let's do this one first, do the dog first. Oops, that wasn't clever, was it? Yes, I thought so. I'm hitting that. I wonder if that'll still hold. Oops, not like that, it won't. Let's try that one again. See if I can get him the other part of his head. Oh, it's also catching on this one. Didn't think about that. I can see that I've got a little black splodge there as well. There we go. That looks good. So if I move that out of the way, and then this I need to have it stamped towards the end. Let me just flatten that. That's got the raised cut edge where you get the where the trimmer has been. If you just go over it with your foam folder like that, that flattens it down beautifully. There you go, both sides look lovely now. Right, so if I want that to come here, I think we're going to have to take you off. Let's put you on that punch over there. So if I do that there, that should be about right. Now, obviously you only need one of these. I've already done the short one because I knew that I wanted to have a go at this. Not very straight, but that's okay if it's going. Oh no, it isn't okay, is it? If it's not being die cut. Okay. So that's the stamping sorted. Now I hope that when I rest this on there as a long one, I hope I'm going to think I don't like the look of that. Yeah, it would have to be narrower, wouldn't it? And then that would be on there with my dog. No, no, no. Right, so this is the other one I did, and I die cut it using the rectangle stitched dies, and I used the smallest one, I think, #1 of what I call the regular dies, because this has got layers of slim dies. These are the slim, these are regular. Okay, so it's #1. Yes, there you go, #1. Okay, but I've already done that, so there we go. That's what's going to happen on there, and then that will go on there. First of all, I'm going to colour this. In fact, I've already got a colour, a stamped one here that hasn't got the black up there. Okay, I'm cheating. I'm taking one that I did earlier. I don't know why I did that. Must have been a good reason for it. Okay, so I'm going to colour it in using some Stampin' blends. For his collar, which I'll do first, that is definitely going to be red. I'm using the dark red. Okay, now I'm going to do the body and everything else really using light smoky slate. And I tend to go up to the edges first. I did like the die cut dog better than the stamped one, but only because it has a little bit of pink in his ear and a pink tongue. But as you can see on here, the tongue is solid black and there's no way that I could make that pink. But because it was too big, it would have meant I'd have to fussy cut it after I die cut it. And I do, if I'm going to fussy cut something that I have a die for, I do die cut it first, because I find it's easier to fussy cut when there's only a little bit of excess there that needs to come off. Don't know if anybody else finds that. I think this is a Scotty dog. As I say, I'm not really a dog person, so I could be wrong. But he doesn't seem to have any paws. Is that normal for Scotties? Right, I will do a little bit of shading here. So I'm going to bring in my dark smoky slate. I'm going to do his ears. That side. Bit on his tummy. Bit on his legs. Tail. Maybe down his back. There we go. His nose. Where's the picture? Oh, he's got a black nose there. Well, black's a bit harsh, so you can have a dark grey one. So let's do the blending in using the light one again. We're still in our third lockdown, and I think we'll probably stay now this lockdown until about the end of February, which means I can't get to see Sharon to get my nails done. So I've actually painted them myself today. Not brilliant, but it's not bad, is it? What do you think? If you think I've done a terrible job, don't tell me. It's going to be a long time before I can get back to see Sharon. There we go. Right, and I'm just going to give, this is light, isn't it? Give him a little bit of grounding so he doesn't look like he's floating in the air. And the other thing I wanted to do was, because there's, as well as little paws, there's little red hearts here. So like I did with the cats, I want to put a couple of hearts on this sheet as well. But I had to colour them in because they are just outlines rather than right. Let's see. There we go. Shall I leave it just at 2? Yes, I think so. So real red Stampin' Right marker. I can't talk when I'm holding my breath. Okay, so that's him done. And I'm going to put him on there. Oh, I love those two hearts. And then that is going to be going on there. So first of all, let's put that one on. You could use dimensionals if you wanted. Don't think I'm going to. Shame there's not room there for some red hearts. Oh, so nice and easy having the words there to get straight. Yay, goody. Right. So what I'm going to do now to adhere this, that is all in position. I'm going to get myself a little pencil. Mark where I want this to go. Okay, so that's where I want it. I'm going to pull it back a little bit, put my pencil mark. Now that's how far I'm going to put my glue, and up about halfway through the hole there, the buckle part. There we go. I'll just hold that down so it's all nice and flat. And put that in position. Preferably straight. And try and get the same sort of gap there and there, so it fits in with where your punched hole is. Obviously mine was a bit extended. Okay, and then that's how it goes. When you close it, in fact it probably won't happen to this because the hole is bigger, but what I find on my first one, sometimes when I go to close it, it doesn't always work first time because it has to go in absolutely straight. There's no room for error there. So I'm really pleased with that. Right, now, oh no, I'm not going to use that one, am I? I'm going to use this one. Now, do I want to put this? Yes, I think I do. That one there could really have done with this extra layer. I also didn't know whether to decorate this part as well. If I did, I'd want it to be something that didn't show above that. But when you make this card, you can choose the size of the band to be wider if you like, as long as you've got something that you can punch a straight line with, which I've shown you how to do it, how to make the hole bigger. Okay, so what you could do with this, you could actually punch that hole right the way across. So if you wanted to do a really wide one, you could do that there. Yeah, you could do. Right, let's put some glue on this. Again, just make sure that's nice and straight. There we go. And there we go, there's today. Oh no, oh look, I've done that too far over. That's probably why I didn't do that last time. I didn't want it showing past there. Come on please, Tombo, let go, please. Oh, it's been a great day for mistakes, hasn't it? There we go. I've got some glue there that I'll need to remove. Oh, looks like it's coming off nice and easily. Let's just use this. This is an amazingly useful gadget to have in your, not gadget, a tool to have in your craft room. Unfortunately we don't sell them anymore, but it's a rubber, no, it's a adhesive eraser. As you see, that's better. Much, much better. I'm happy with that now. Okay, that's why I didn't put the layer on the other one, because it did come too close to the edge. But there we go, there's today's card. Hope you like it and hope you give it a go. Nice and easy. And there's that one. As I say, all the measurements will be in the box below the video. That'll be A4 inches, US inches and also metric. I'll list out all the products that I've used, and there'll be a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop for all the different items. If you've enjoyed my video and would like to make sure that you get notified each time I upload a new one, please click on the subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner and then click on the bell, and it's the bell that will make sure that you get an email notification. If you have any comments to make or any questions, please leave those in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you, and I do enjoy your feedback. The other thing I wanted to say is the box below the video, you can find it if you're watching on a laptop or a PC. Underneath the video you'll see about 3 lines of writing, then it'll say show more. Click on that and that'll open the box. If you're watching on something like a mobile phone, on the right hand side you'll find a little down arrow. Click on that and that'll open up the box. But please rest assured, the measurements will be in there. And we are going through a celebration at Stampin' Up, which means for every €60 or £45 you spend, you can choose a gift from the celebration brochure. There are level 1 and level 2 gifts. The level 2 gifts is for every £90 of your order, and it doesn't matter how much your order is. For example, if you ordered £135 worth or €180, that would give you a choice of 3 gifts. So you could have 3 level 1 gifts, or you could have one level 2 gift and one level 1, whatever. So it's not just one gift per order, it's for every €60 or every £45. If you'd like to know more details about that, please email me at janb@janbcards.com. In the meantime, please, especially if you're in the UK, the pandemic over here is really bad at the moment. Please take great care and stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy crafting. Cheerio.